Circle ready. 3, 2, 1. It's like a
This is Boldcastify, the bold new way to podcast, with your host,
Clay.
My name's Jay. I'm Justin.
This is the Circle of Prowl. Season 2, Episode 9.
Well, how about those Duval Jaguars?
We're still doing that, huh?
Yeah.
Very doable. OTAs,
In the books.
Minicamp, in the books. Jalen had to get core surgery done. What's everyone's thoughts about that?
Yeah, which was a little worrisome because when it first came out, it was like, everyone was like, oh my god, he's going to miss part of the season.
That's a little extreme.
And then we started reading, and then Jalen came out and said it was a core injury. I was like, okay.
Yeah, Jalen himself came out and said it needed to be done. When it's over, it's done, and he feels 100%. And he's supposed to be back sometime during training camp, if not before. Probably catch him for the third preseason game at latest.
He'll definitely be playing.
Indeed, he will.
I do know that. And I think they said between 6 and 8 weeks.
Right.
So, however, I think he'll catch some training camp and stuff, but they'll probably ease him on very slowly like they always do.
Yeah, like I said, you'll probably get your first look at him for the third preseason game, which is fine.
Yeah, and
Second,
chemistry
third.
is not of paramount importance for the backfield as
Right.
much as it is for the linebackers
Or Brandon Allen.
Lineman.
and for linemen,
Yeah.
because they're going to be doing more freelancing this year in the setup. I'm pretty sure. I think they're going to get away
That's what
from
it sounds
zones,
like, yeah.
and they're going to let them kind of do their thing a little bit more. But still, you want them to have chemistry with a backfield that's pretty new.
We especially want such an impactful player being out there. It's pretty important.
Yeah, and Boye and Church.
Church hasn't been out there at all so far this season.
Gibson's not a new player, but if he actually starts playing like they want him to, hopefully he'll be
needs the reps.
hopefully he'll be like a new player.
Yeah.
He'll be playing totally different, I guess is what I'm saying. Go based off of what you saw last year.
No. But yeah, he'll definitely be getting new looks.
If they don't get away from that, then just
What's the point?
hopefully they worked it out in their talk.
Yeah, didn't you mention they had a little powwow, the three of them?
They hashed it out supposedly. Todd Wash and Jalen and Gibson.
They last man standing, kind of battle royale.
Well, I guess we know why Jalen needs core surgery. He got thrown over the top rope. And by top rope, I mean, the stadium.
Yeah.
Fence, stadium, whatever.
Not Jalen, kick him in the gut.
Yeah, that's what I know. That's
injured.
a wrap. He was out quick.
Supposedly Tom
Tom was the referee. Keep going.
Yes. But supposedly Todd Walsh, he basically said, keep it in house. If you got a problem, come to me. Which I think...
And that's how it should be, not going to media. All that crap should be taken in-house.
Oh, you're going to see things closing up and tightening up all over.
To be honest, you actually already have.
Like, you're not going to have as much access as we've had.
No.
That's already been the case.
I hope everyone enjoyed the access that we got, because you don't see that normally.
Like that post-game, remember when they got Gus Bradley straight off the field after another embarrassing, humiliating way to lose, and they got that what a game to be a part of quote. I don't think you'll have the chance to get that from Doug.
I'm going to say probably not.
Even if you do get him directly off the field, he will not be saying what a game to be a part of. He will probably be plenty of explicitives because he doesn't seem like a very calm man. I listened to him on Jaguars Today earlier last week.
It was pretty good.
It'll be brief and it'll be angry.
Yes, he came in quoting Shakespeare, left preaching football. So
He's fired up and animated. But a very different animated.
oh yeah. like an angry animated.
He's not peaches and cream like Gus was. Which is good. We don't need peaches and
or
cream.
sunshines and rainbows.
However you want to go about it.
We need as much of a culture change as you can have while keeping half of the coaching staff.
We didn't keep half the coaching stuff.
Maybe it's the good half.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Maybe we get that New York Giants effect.
Yeah, but we still had pretty good turnover on the staff. I'm pretty confident in what they did with the staff, even while keeping the coordinators. A few big pieces.
Yeah, we got the big pieces.
That's the big part. We got the big pieces.
Like, oh, you don't like the Trump administration? Well, we're going to clear out the House. You get new Senate, new everything, but Trump stays.
Yeah. And his vice president stays.
Yeah. Kind of weird that you're like, we're going to clean house, but we're going to keep the offensive coordinator
And the
defensive coordinator. He just promises not to do the same defense this year.
Obviously, they seen something in both coordinators that they did not want to lose. And I mean, Todd Walsh had a pretty good defense last year, so it was something they wanted to probably try to replicate with the better coaching around him to help him be better at his job. And there's another thing that kind of helps. Todd Walsh and the Jaguars officially put Leo and Otto into the history books. So now it's back to normal.
Thanks to the gods, even though I firmly believe that...
Big in, a little in.
It gives you hope that, Todd Walsh was just running whatever
Gus wanted him to run.
Like he didn't have the freedom. You want to believe that because you want to believe that it's going to be different.
Yes, you have to believe actually.
Insanity is doing the same thing over and over, and expecting different results.
Yes, as that was a direct quote from Gus Bradley.
Direct quote, huh?
Yes, I remember that in one of the interviews.
Where we pretty much admitted that what they were doing was crazy because he followed it up by saying they were kind of doing the same thing.
But goddamn it, he's going to keep kicking that dead horse into the ground.
Yeah.
First you see, try again.
It's going to be a quote under his caption when he's done coaching. Round peg, square hole. That's it. That's his mantra here in Jacksonville. However you want to put it, I don't care.
Well, maybe a trapezoid inside of a triangle. I don't know.
Whatever direction works. He found the most effed up way of trying to do it.
Mm-hmm. It was so many random players that we brought in over the past 3 to 4 years that we would have thought would have been part of something great because that's what they preached. And I understand you got to when you're bringing in new players, you got to preach the mantra. We're gonna make this team great again. Blah blah blah.
Right. That always doesn't end up being the case.
No, definitely didn't.
All boils back down to the coaching, honestly. You had a long way to go building the team, but a lot of it boils back down to the coaching, and the coaching was just not there. And Will talent, of course. That's just an opinion.
It was a talent problem in 2013.
Right.
It was not a talent problem in 2016.
And 2013 was one of his better teams.
Yeah, weirdly enough.
Yeah. But his message was fresh. It was new at the time. But players learned. We all learned.
I'm still the idiot that thinks that this is a talented roster.
Yeah.
I don't have wins to back me up.
With you.
If you believe Pro Football Focus, it says we are a talented roster. And I know they grade everything off of stats, and I'm a big stats guy, but I cannot stand Pro Football Focus.
Which makes no sense.
So, I don't know. A jury's still out. I think we have some good players.
Pro Football Focus is that thing that you love when they say good things about your player.
Exactly.
And that thing that you hate when they tell you bad things about that player.
Well, they told us a lot of good things. They predicted our future roster this year already, and we have 8 amazing players. So if you got 8, you're good.
That's not bad.
No.
Paul Posluszny is one of them.
How great is he going to be at strong side linebacker?
That's the catch.
I don't know.
That's definitely would be this regime's round peg square hole edition, which we'll see how that works. But hey,
I think that he could be very good at it.
he could be. There's real potential for it. You had to make the change. You had to do something.
The only thing I do not like about that one, and I know we've beat this dead horse,
You don't know.
we're going to beat it again, is the simple fact that they outright gave it to Myles Jack.
Kind of have to, though, to give him as much time at the position as possible.
Right.
Well,
That's the problem.
they preach competition.
Well, that was really Gus Bradley's thing, which, by the way, he never did.
Well,
No, he didn't.
no, even this current regime preaches competition.
But you knew last year when they drafted him, he was going to be the middle linebacker. Because you had some scouts that had him graded higher in coverage than Luke Kuechly. A talent like that, it's inevitable.
I would still like to see some competition instead of just saying,
With who?
kick plate, hey,
Cake plate?
you got to go against the big boy, see if you can do it.
Well,
I
they
guess.
spent a second-round pick on him.
No.
They're convinced that he can do
Well,
it.
sucks to suck. I mean, if you suck, then don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you.
And I would guess that's why Paul is no longer your mic. Of course, they have confidence in Jack's coverage abilities. But they're pretty confident that he can do it. That's the whole
You
point.
could also be setting him up for failure if he's jumping between a whole bunch of different positions
Well,
throughout the entire offseason, only to win the job and then have like very few reps at that spot. It's kind of what happened to him last year. He was like,
there you go.
he was like throwing him wherever they had an opening. And
That's the thing. They wanted to train him on every position out there. They kept moving him all around the place.
want him to be a jack
felt
of all trades, pun intended.
Littlest firework ever.
That's what she said.
No, I felt like if he played one position last year, he would have probably excelled at it. Even if it wasn't a position that was natural choice.
Boy, they put him at the worst possible. Like he was all like he didn't do anything terrible.
He could have played running back and probably been better at that.
Yeah.
Strong side was the place he was least, built
Set up
for.
for. Yeah, I know. That's the only one. That's the only scratching my head move that this regime has made so far.
Probably questionable, but it makes sense.
And if that's the only one, so far so good. I mean, on paper, we won the offseason for the 4th year in a row. Giddy up.
I'll say definitely at least for the second.
No, at least 3rd. Blake Bortles we won that draft. What's last year's draft?
Usually when I think that, I think free agency, but yeah.
Yeah, free agency is where people were like, "Oh wow, Jaguars."
We won both the last 2 or 3 years in a row.
So yeah, I thought you said 4. All right, I'll go with it.
But I don't care about winning the offseason. I'll give all away. We can pick up any players and we win.
I get that you're doing like a jumping off point about not wanting to win the offseason, but I felt like this was kind of nice to not have an offseason where people were saying the Jaguars had the best offseason.
They did.
I didn't get that as much.
Fox Sports said it.
They were losing their minds.
Yeah.
When we got Malik the first day, and when we spent a whole bunch of money on all the guys we just cut recently. Julius, what's his face?
That was 3 years ago.
Julius Thomas.
Well, yeah, we cut Julius Thomas and then the big end from Miami.
Oh,
Audrey.
Yeah,
And Ivory.
Yeah, those are. You're confusing.
Big dollar bills.
That was a couple years ago.
You're confusing 2 draft classes, bud, or 2 free agent classes.
I'm talking about over the last couple years when we made those moves. They were really, really splashy, really, really big deal, and we were like the headline when it happened.
Yeah, we were the headline this year.
Not as much.
Not as much.
Yeah, we were. We spent the most money again for the 3rd year in a row. For what? We'll find out very soon.
I know we got some publicity for Calais and Boye, but it was still not the same like the previous years. I mean, I guess a lot of it...
I won't argue it over and over again, but we're not getting hyped as we were, and I like it.
I know we're not getting hyped, but you
But
gotta tell
after so many years of being beaten to the ground.
That's all I was saying.
I'm speaking. The national news is still hyping us up. Like not the former tight end for Giants. He came out and said that because we got Tom Coughlin, he could see us as a dark horse candidate to win the division.
Tom Brand's credibility.
I think we're just constantly on the list of dark horse.
Yeah.
Just because we're bad.
And we're not
I like it.
the worst of the bad, but we're bad.
I mean,
I'd rather not be a dark horse.
Yeah.
I'd rather be the horse.
I want to be the horse.
Yeah, that's true. The
Not
horse.
not the dark horse. I want to be the horse, the winning
Go with
horse.
that. Speaking of dark horses, Brandon Albert ended his holdout.
That's racist. You gotta add that out.
Wow.
Right?
Yes, you got to hit it.
If you make it like a racist
Dark horse. He's black. He happens to be big. Oh, great. The story that we made into a non-story.
yeah.
The holdout.
As
there was
we
never a
figured he
holdout.
would.
Yeah.
He would return from minicamp, which is when he started getting fined for cheddar.
He's a very big dude. I
Oh, yeah.
finally saw a picture of him like in like a uniform without the pads. I'd be like, all right, sir, you can pass.
Yeah.
I don't want you to step on me because I'm sure he wears like a size 14 shoe.
Yeah, he's a big old boy. There's a lot of storylines for this team, and to me, there's like 2 that really matter. I think the defense works itself out, and there's some storylines there.
We've got a few things. Donte, Jalen, Myles. But overall, yeah, the focus will be on the offense.
This whole season is how good can Blake Bortles be this year, and what does that offensive line look like? Those are the 2 biggest storylines to me. The thing that is my focus for training camp is how does that offensive line shape up? Uninteresting stuff to watch.
Marone even had his comment to Bortles. If you turn the ball over, you will not be our quarterback. Everything else is negotiable.
But check down Chadwick is the quarterback. Yes, but
Everything
check down.
else is
So winning, double winning. So if Blake Bortles sucks,
Spend as much as they did.
didn't replace the second quarterback.
Just no contingency plan.
It doesn't. It's
Hanny.
mind blowing.
really what were your options?
Mind blowing.
Statistically, it's
Is it?
not a bad option.
Yeah.
And
He has
the
he
best
has
backups.
He has a better passer rating than Blake
Honestly, if
Bortles.
you look at it, he hasn't really played with this crop that's out there.
I know. He hasn't played with any good wide receivers since Brandon Marshall.
Well, I mean, he did lose the job in 2014, and he had Hearns and Robinson. But
For 2 games.
For 2 games.
For 2.5 games when they were rookies.
did you need to see more?
But I don't think all the sacks in the Washington game were his fault.
Did you need
Was
more,
it three-
Chad?
Was it 3 interceptions?
I was one of the people standing cheering when Blake came on the field.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still thought it was too early, but yeah, I was cheering.
Yeah.
Was it 3 interceptions by the half? I think
Something like that.
it was horrible.
All I know is because it was at most 15,000 people left at one point.
Oh,
People in the
I
stadium.
thought you were going to say 15 people. I was like, dear God.
That was one of the most depressing moments in the team's history. One of those all hope is lost moments.
We haven't been in the house of laughter for a very long time.
The house of laughter.
So
Jason's coining phrases.
He could trademark them.
So you got to do something. Whether he means them or not, I guess we'll find out.
I hadn't heard that Blake stuff.
I hadn't heard that Blake stuff until today either.
A bit shocking since it was everywhere.
I also heard people giving me stuff from these guys, and it always sounds extra harsh. When it's dissected all day on sports talk radio.
I mean, look, we are going to overanalyze right now. Sports Talk Radio is
How could they?
analyzing the worst,
Cha cha cha.
the itty bitty stuff because that's all we got. But
Especially during this area.
I turned
This time.
on the local radio station today during their football show, and they were just talking about golf. I'm like, man, why am I doing this? Why are they doing this? Why is anybody doing this? Go take a break.
Go live life. Be productive. Just take time off.
Yeah.
Play music. Talk politics. Something useful.
And here we are podcasting about the Jaguars in June.
yeah, because
Someone's got to do it. We got to soldier on.
yeah, might as well be us.
But the reality is, we're still reading the stories. We're still talking about it all the time. It is what it is.
I mean,
I'm still
One horse down.
genuinely,
Not
interested.
Not optimistic.
No,
Do what? Not that.
you don't.
Stories.
We don't always finish each other's sentences. I am genuinely interested in what happens with like the offensive line and
The details.
all the details. Yeah.
But I do like Marone's comment about Blake because it's not something Gus would have come out and said in that context.
I didn't hear the quote, so
If you turn the ball over, you will not be our quarterback.
what's the context?
He's basically talking to Blake, basically.
He was talking directly to Blake, and reporters were there.
Obviously, that was not the case, but he was pretty much giving him the ultimatum that the turnovers have to cease, or at least the amount. Obviously, that's what I took away from it, and most people did. Because
Well,
they're
I don't-
asking him about turnovers.
I don't know if I buy that because I don't think that you.
But he said everything else, the mechanics or whatever, all that was negotiable.
Yeah, I don't think I totally buy that because you spend your entire draft on trying to build a team that'll work with Blake Bortles. You're not going to give up on him. I mean, if interceptions are the problem, we will have a different quarterback by week 2.
No.
It's just the thing.
Do you really think so?
Blake's going to throw interceptions. As long as he throws more touchdowns, at the end of the day, it should work itself out.
Agreed and understandable, but you've got to minimize the interceptions, and especially the costly turnovers. Those motherfuckers are the backbreakers. And it's what screws him and screws the whole team.
Sure.
Okay, instead
He's going to have interceptions, obviously.
of
That's how
21
quarterback
interceptions,
is.
how's 19 sound?
Do what now?
Instead of 21 interceptions, how does 19 sound?
Sounds like we're out of the 20 family. That's something.
Well, he didn't have 20 picks last year. Ideally, you want the number of picks to be less than Antonio Cromartie has kids.
Yeah, get south of that number, which is doable. That's very doable.
Yeah. So you want to be under 13.
You're not going to get...
But still with a plus. I mean, you ideally want a 3-to-1 touchdown interception ratio at some point. Ideally. Not saying it's going to happen. Like 10 interceptions, 30-something touchdowns.
Never going to happen again. Not with the way they're...
Not with the way it's built.
Yeah.
No, okay, I'll give it to you. Not with the way it's built.
I'm thinking
So you at least want to double your touchdowns to interception ratio.
I'm thinking that they're probably shooting for less than 20 touchdowns for Blake.
Perhaps. I just don't see how that's possible in this modern NFL.
I will point out to you that Blake Bortles' passer rating on slant routes is better than Tom Brady. So
Interesting fact. Did not know that.
you got a plan that you could piece together there, and that
You
plan
could slant route yourself to the end zone.
that plan is
Slant
2007 David Garrard. He's not the quarterback to do that with, but
No.
that's the plan, I
A
think.
slant route yourself to a Super Bowl. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's one way to start it.
Just make those
Or-
50-50 balls count, and then all of a sudden you're cooking with gas.
Or use our corners to intercept our way to a Super Bowl.
Huh. Well,
Or if you're going to throw picks, just make them on those deep passes.
yeah.
Don't make them over the middle of the field, 7 yards down, off a foot. Cut down on those. Cut down on your foot interceptions.
3 of those last year, right?
Those are the dumb ones. Those are the real dumb ones.
Led the league in foot interceptions.
But hey, the plus is we have more speed on the field to chase defenders down.
Yep.
That's
There's
plus.
another argument for you. We were discussing before we went on the air, Corey Grant's spot on the team. There's another argument for Corey Grant. Although I don't think he's going to be able to tackle very well, he'll catch the person.
Yeah, he'll catch up to him.
And just
He may
jump
get
on
ran
their
over.
back. He'll be like Yoda, Return of the Jedi, just like... Was that Empire?
I think it was Empire.
Yeah, I think it's Empire.
Whatever.
I think he trains Yoda and then gets his hand cut off. I don't know.
Either way. Another back to Todd Walsh. He says Donte Fowler has matured a lot, but still has ways to go.
Good. I mean, I feel like that comment's like a generalization. He's not as shitty as he was before, but he's not as good as he needs to be.
The fact that we're still talking about his maturity, not great.
No, it's not. Because that's something they've definitely focused on. And especially the fact it's going into year 3. Even though it's second year on the field.
Yeah,
but still,
I really
he's
hate-
been in the locker room for a while.
I really hate that they give that guy a bad rap after playing his first season, getting 4 sacks, coming off a pretty, for all intents and purposes, an injury that before modern medicine,
1892.
maybe the last 10 or 12 years, would have taken you would have been out of the league before like 10 or 12 years ago, you know.
I'm all for giving Dante a chance, but like I said, year 3,
Like,
and
You can
it's
show
not
up.
like does he have the talent? It's does he have the maturity? Like
It's time to show up.
Yeah, it's time to be a grown up and
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that he needs to not grow up, but
Because you got to learn more than one move. 2 moves. You got to learn a couple techniques there.
I mean, he even said it in an interview. He was learning to swim. He said everybody's big.
yeah.
That's the jump.
So I mean,
Going from UF to the big boys.
And there's a lot of potential there.
There is. He's a lot of potential.
I do not think that he is properly being used, but that's just me.
I think if you're using him properly, he'd be still in Paz's new spot.
Yes,
He could be pretty
Watch
good there.
yes,
That would be the perfect spot for him, actually.
yes. I
He
totally
needs to be an
agree.
outside linebacker. But that would be in a perfect world. Because this team needs edge rushers, though.
They do.
And
I
we
feel like they
drafted
have a
him
lot
as an edge rusher. I think that's what he came out as, put up by his bio. You know, when they
Yes, he came out as an edge rusher. But he came out, but it was also, he could have been an edge rusher.
But I mean,
or
you
three.
look at the draft prospects for the guys who get taken as edge rushers. They don't call it any specific position anymore because of how
Right.
loose that is.
yeah, it is.
You could be a rush backer in a 3-4. You could be a Leo. You could be like a 4-3 end. Like there's some wiggle room there.
yeah.
And I think he'd probably be ideal in maybe a 3-4. I don't know.
He'd be perfect in a 3-4.
I don't know his coverage skills.
All right. So, quick question:
As a rush linebacker in 3-4?
do you guys wonder at all why we haven't seen or heard any contract talks, or do you think we will hear it before the start of the season? Do you think we'll hear anything? I begin to wonder because I haven't heard a peep anywhere.
How many players to you have earned their extension?
At least
now?
3. Well, yeah, 3. I think.
Linder, Talvin, Robinson.
Accurate.
Yes.
Sounds right.
I agree with all 3.
I did hear something negative about Talbot recently, and I wanted to spitball. They say that he is undersized for the defense that we play.
He's been
undersized in every defense.
He's been told he's been undersized like for a long time now. They said it was going to be a problem with him tackling.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have much of a problem tackling.
Exactly.
Well,
He actually led the league in tackling for like a couple weeks in a row last year. I know that. But I was just kind of questioning the thought process. Like, what kind of thought process do they have to have behind Talvin? What do we need to see? I mean, what do you need to see about a guy? A Browns player got a $42 million contract, same draft, and less tackles.
I don't think that they value Telvin like they should. I think that they do value Robinson, but they want him to prove it one more time. And I think that they value Linder. Maybe they're just trying to figure out what position they're going to stick him at before they do contract talks.
Probably. That one's what I'm imagining.
Because contracts between a guard and a center are probably a little different.
Yeah, it varies a little bit by maybe a few million.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's a chance you see like a mid-season deal for Linder.
I know Talvin, when he asked about it, he goes, "We got a few more months," but he goes, "We're going to shut that down."
Yeah.
Talvin's like a gamer.
He does not want to discuss going into the season.
Yeah. So I haven't heard anything about Allen. I think you had heard rumor about Allen. He might want to.
I'm worried he's going to walk.
Jetson out of here too.
That's some of the word that he wants to bounce.
I think maybe the thought process is like you're going to try to preach making the players more accountable. Maybe not give big contracts before they do anything under the new regime. Maybe that's the thought process.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I don't agree with it.
No,
I think
especially
Telvin
not when you
has
have
already
these
earned his money.
players to do it.
And Telvin
Telvin's
stands
earned
out
his money.
because what was he, 4th round?
5th.
He was a 5th round pick. So I mean, he has certainly he's punching out his weight division.
He's earned his pay.
He's making Swiss out there.
I think the Browns linebacker was picked in the 4th round. He got $42 million, and he has less tackles on the books.
So I kind of get where they're coming from. I don't like it.
No, not at all.
It's just a little weird because they have been totally silent.
But I mean, that's also the way the regime is right now.
Maybe it's not weird. They were totally they're pretty silent with Albert.
True.
Like I know I was assuming they were going to work something out with him contract wise.
I thought they might have guaranteed some of the money. That was all I ever thought. But
I think the plan for Albert is the plan for all of them. You know, if you prove it to us, we've got all the cap space to pay you.
If you show it, we'll give it to you.
Well, you don't think Talbot both?
No, we agree.
I think that's what they. I think that's what
we
they're
agree.
saying to all of them.
Yeah, but
Well,
I think
both of them were here when Talbot did it already.
Tom wasn't here.
I don't think Tom was in charge of the piggy bank, is he?
Tom is
Yes.
final say on everything,
I guess.
except for maybe uniforms. Hopefully uniforms.
Oh, God bless. Hopefully uniforms, but probably not.
He's the final say with everything.
All football operations.
Whatever coaching decision, like if they're
I
going to
didn't think that
implement
was a
something
football
new.
operation. I thought that was like a contract operation.
That's still under football. Breaking news.
Learning something new every day.
He is czar.
I don't know if he's doing as much as we think, but
Probably not. He still can't have final say if he so aptly puts it, because that's essentially what he was given.
get him in the film room with Telvin stuff. Telvin makes some mistakes in coverage sometimes, but
Oh, I'm sure. Trust me, I'm sure Coach Coughlin's popping in every other film room.
he is worth keeping.
And that, as I spoke to personally a few times, and I think I said it on in one of the last episodes, this regime, this franchise will vehemently piss me off if they let Telvin walk.
Well, be prepared to be pissed off.
This is one of the best linebackers we've had
It
in
is
this franchise's history.
That's pretty strong words.
Yeah.
It is a position that they don't think highly of. Not that necessarily they don't think highly of Telvin. It's that the position in general, I don't think they think highly of.
Probably
I think
not.
I think they feel like it's easier to replace that position, and it's easier to get somebody in cheaper. I think when you got a good player, you need to hold on to him.
No matter the case, when you have a good player, you got to find a way to keep him. And more times than not, you do.
Yeah.
Especially players like that, they don't come around all the time. Especially for this team. We don't get that often.
This is very true. But I just want to get y'all's opinion on that because it was starting to bother me because I seen other contracts getting done for other players.
So with that, folks, we're going to bid you adieu. Thanks for joining us for the Circle Up Prowl. We'll be back with episode 10 soon because there really isn't that much Jaguar news. But stay tuned. We'll have more from Boldcastify in the upcoming episodes in the next few weeks.
If this is your first time listening, then thanks for stopping by. This has been a Boldcastify production and is produced just for the people of Duval and beyond. Also, show notes and upload dates are found at boldcastify.com. Come back often and feel free to add the podcast to your favorites on Spreaker, SoundCloud, and YouTube. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and Snapchat at Boldcastify. All links are on social media. Think bold. Speak bold. Live bold. Boldcastify.